What's cracking, YouTube? What it do? So I wanted to go live right now, and I wanted to speak on a couple things. Um, the passing of Josh, homie, Hangout, in particular, and this whole YouTube thing. Alexander, what's good, brother, man? What it do? You on break right now? I feel you. Shit, bro. Had an appointment this morning, but good chilling. Machete, what's cracking? What it do? Yeah, so let some people come in on this live, because like I said, I wanna speak on that in depth, man. Because I know the first I seen of it, my primo sent me a link, and it was Dubs, the video Dubs did, and he called it all out of pocket, as they typically do. And you always know when somebody comes on and they say, well, I don't want to be the first one, and I'm not trying to be the first one to do some shit. Well, you didn't have to. You could have waited. You didn't have to do any of that. I've made that mistake myself. Let me explain something to you. I personally made that mistake myself when Casper Chad, rest in peace, when he passed away. And I did not know at the time that he was still missing. Everything was coming in really fast at that time. And so, I made the mistake of jumping the gun and speaking, and I had to take all that and apologize to the family. Because those are my people, you know what I mean? Like, that's a childhood friend in spite of it all. And I go back to childhood with his family, with his brothers, Bobby and Chunky, and we go back to kids. And I personally don't hold no ill will about any of this shit. You know what I mean? I don't. And I've always said that, and me and Chad talk, you know what I mean? So, that's the thing about that. And you see that with that video, because I only got so far into it before it was like, I start shaking my head, bro. Like I honestly couldn't believe it. It was like, I don't wish that on nobody, homie. Like, I don't wish nobody to harm themselves, bro. Like, I don't. You know what I mean? I get upset, and I speak my piece, bro. I get it off my chest, but I know that, I'm just verbalizing that something that's on my chest. You know what I mean? And if push comes to shove, then it is what it is. You know what I mean? Because I gotta live my life. But otherwise, you know what I mean? Like, I've been seeing a lot of my own mistakes here and all of this shit. You know what I mean? And like with that, like I said, I just, it was one of those things where I didn't want to believe it was true, honestly, because of the conflicts that we had. I didn't want that to be true, because it's like, for me personally, there's no forgiveness for someone who takes their own life. You know what I mean? Like, that's in the sight of God. Like, I can't, you know what I mean? Like, so otherwise, and that was a struggle for me, because like I said, we had conflict, and he did something that was way out of bounds. You know what I mean? And he did that for clout and for clicks. Let's be honest. I'm not gonna, because he passed away, act like none of this shit ever happened. You know what I mean? I can't speak to him being a good person and a good dad, and I can't speak to that. I seen this clip that I guess somebody did recently. I forget the channel, YouTube Street, something like that. But I like that video because it brought to light some things that he was doing in the community, talking about how he met Porcho or whatever, you know what I mean? It's like, that's solid, you know what I mean? To me, like, that's for everybody. That's what that channel should have been about. You know what I mean? As opposed to everything else, like all of this, you know what I mean? Like, that's why I decided for myself to turn away from it. Like, I don't have anything to say no more about it. Like, I'm not in a gang. I don't do that. I don't, you know what I mean? I don't know nobody. I don't know nothing. That's that. You know what I mean? If I don't have a direct personal relationship with him, I ain't speaking to it. You know what I mean? But that's the whole thing. And like with him in this, because I speak to that, is that he was constantly getting himself caught up in the mix with other people's shit. He was constantly, you know what I mean, in drama. That's the whole lot of them, bro. And I'm caught up in the bullshit myself, but like when it came to him, it had nothing to do with him. It had absolutely nothing to do with him, because he himself got involved with something. You know what I mean? He jumped in and sided with Cricket. You know what I mean? And not knowing none of the situation, and then calling me out of my name and all kind of shit. And he was on live before he jumps on my live with Cricket, and he's talking crazy about it. I didn't even know all this until somebody put him on blast on the live. Because he comes on my live trying to play it cool. You know what I mean? Like, so I was playing it cool until they put him on blast. And it's like, oh, you're playing the fence. He's sitting there trying to backdoor me. On the one hand, you was just over there talking crazy, you know what I mean, talking about you, all this other bullshit, and then turn around, you come on mine, and you want to get me on live so that you could do what? Now, this is the type of shit that was going on. I'm not gonna sweep none of this under the rug, because everybody on YouTube needs to hear this for themselves, because there's a whole lot of content creators that continue to do the same thing. Now, in memory of Josh, dude, in loving memory, truly, like, I honestly don't hold no ill will to him in passing, bro. You know what I mean? Like, I myself wish that I could say, I forgive you, bro. And you know what I mean? For the offense. And if I offended you, you know what I mean? I apologize. And to his family, I apologize for that, for ourselves. You know what I mean? For the sake of both of us, you know what I mean? To find resolution for myself and ourselves, and saying that, bygones be bygones. I hold no ill will, and I only wish the best. You know what I mean? I pray for the best for his children, for his wife, for his family. You know what I mean? I pray their success. I pray that they see, what good he inspired to do, that they pick up the mantle, and, you know what I mean, they succeed themselves. I wish them nothing but the best. But when it comes to this YouTube shit, people are on here constantly, going back and forth, wanting to expose people, wanting to do this. Expose people for what? Okay, so all of the exposure that everybody's done to everybody, has anybody stopped making content? Has Dub stopped making content? Has Gunner stopped making content? Have I stopped making content? Has anybody stopped making content on account of all of this exposure? Oh, I got him now. This is the one. When it kept repeating. And I'm going to go back to the Chill video. Go watch the Chill video and see how many times Chill brings up all the incidents that he had with those two dudes. So let's keep this in mind, because it continues on. The machine rages on when people are just going to sit there and look for the most controversial content to create, instead of finding resolutions to the problems. You know what I mean? It's like I said a long time ago, dog. it doesn't matter who and what we are. It doesn't matter what our histories are or whatever. People are gonna like us or they're not gonna like us based on personality, period. You know what I mean? Based on relativity, period. People are not gonna sit there and watch and engage with someone that, you know what I mean, unless they're just trolls, unless they're otherwise just clout chasing, hating, and all this other shit. Because what is this controversies creating, in all honesty, for us? Okay, yeah, you get a payday. Yeah, we get the clicks and we all understand the algorithm. But what outside of that do any of us gain from all of these controversies when we can have sensible conversations with one another as men and as adults if we're truly trying to do what's best? Because I don't care if you've been in PC. Like I always said, bro, only someone who's a sex offender and shit like that will I not fuck with, dog. But otherwise, apart from that, yeah, I don't care if you've been a PC or whatever. That doesn't matter, homie. Like, honestly, I see that as that's your testimony. That right there, you stand on, homie. You stand on the fact that, you know what? I made a mistake in life. And I turned from the error of my ways. And you know what? You can call me whatever you want on a part of that. But you know what? I'm doing good. I'm living good. I'm feeling good. I'm free. I'm not under no one's thumb. I don't have to worry about sacrificing my life and my liberty or none of this shit, which we all know the final conclusions to all of it. So in conclusion, that's why I say I don't understand why it just continues. You know what I mean? And it's like everybody that's, I noticed that like, because I've only tapped in on a few of them. But I mean, I've tapped on a few, but I only watched so much of them just to hear what they're saying. And it's like, only the one that the homie Joe Vasquez from Five of a Kind Media sent me that it made, that I respected that content that homie put out. Because it was respectable and honorable, and it taught me something, and it brought me to this point. Because it's like, you know, I had to learn a whole bunch in a short period of time to realize what's going on here. You know what I mean? But you see everybody just seeing an opportunity to take a shot at somebody else and using Josh as an opportunity to take a shot at Gunner, take a shot at Dubs. You know what I mean? Take a shot at someone else in spite of. And for what? It's the same cloud chasing bullshit, dog. I mean, listen, right here is the best I can do in honor of Josh, bro, in honor of homie Hangout. And that's for everybody that hung out. I you know, there was a point where I was subscribed until that shit happened there. You know what I mean? But like I said, you know, if he was here right now, it would be like, you know, because it's gone. Like, it's the same with everybody, bro. I don't hold nothing inside for none of these fools. Like, if anybody, listen, bro, if anybody reached out to me and wanted to talk, we could talk, homie. You know what I mean? If they wanted whatever, you know what I mean, it's cool. I'm good with that. So long as we're not going to carry on and on and on about the bullshit, dog. So long as you can accept my apology and we can move on, because people have a tendency to, like, you come on, it's like, hey, bro, my bad. I know if I said some shit is foul, expense or whatever, you know what I mean? And people are like, but what about? And it's like, I'm not gonna try to do that, dog. If you cannot accept my apology for what it is, heartfelt, that I would even go there and do that, then, you know what I mean? Like, no, dog, because I want to have a conversation that's gonna get somewhere. What up, Perry? What's cracking, bro? Hey, did you get my text? Hey, Perry. Did you get, I need to get at you, bro. Mary, hey, I need to get at you too, Naomi. Hey, Naomi, maybe later when you get chance, I need to speak with you on the phone. So maybe later, try to get on the phone. Chastity, appreciate you tapping in. Richard Lee, appreciate you. Vicky Rogers, appreciate you. Jesus loves you too. Had to drop a piss test. Get yours, bro. It's a whole bunch of trolls, huh? Villain, I don't understand that language, villain, but I appreciate you tapping in. All right, I'll hit you up. Hey, but did you get that? Did you get that text though? I'll call you, bro. I'll hit you up. I'll hit you up after 6. Assuming I'm not working, cause I thought I might have to go in at 2, so I was kind of waiting, see. Um, if I don't, then same with you, Naomi. If I don't have to work, machete, not that easy anymore. People be taking that shit to heart and won't just let stuff go 100 for reals, bro. Like honestly, like, and I look, and that's the thing. Like I even posted something. I'm like, I took all that stuff down, and I wanna I forget who it was, but it was someone from Northern Cali. It was a hidden comment. And it was respectable, you know what I mean? And he said it wasn't a good look, and he's right. I'm gonna tell you this. I knew it wasn't a good look when I posted it. Like I know what I'm doing. Like I know exactly. I'm very, very, very cognizant of what I do. You know what I mean? Otherwise, I don't do it. But what up, Joe? What's cracking? What's cracking? What it do? You don't think you got it? I'm gonna have to check again. Here's what I'm because I'll make sure that number. Hold on, let me just text real quick. I just sent you a text real quick. See if it goes through. If not, then what I was gonna say is because like when I got my new phone, and then with the new operating system, there was numbers in my contacts, and I had to get them off my other phone. I had to go on there and get them from my other phone. But if not, I'll reactivate my Facebook account so I can go on Messenger. Because I deactivated it and I meant to delete it. Because I'm pretty much done with that. I'm done with that shit. I mean, I'm contemplating here with this YouTube thing. Because I'll be honest with you, like, I don't want to give anybody here any attention at all whatsoever. You know what I mean? I don't. You know what I mean? I rather just not. You know what I mean? Because my life is going to continue no matter what. Whether I'm in front of a camera or not, my life continues. Whether or not I let anyone in my world, it continues no matter what. You know what I mean? I'm going to continue in the same lane. I'm going to continue doing what I'm doing until the Lord leads me up and on out of this place, because God got me at the end of the day. And motherfucker going to move me from this earth until God decides that. You know what I mean? Because the Lord knows I don't want to be here. Oh. All right. That way I know it's you. Hey, did you read that? Hey, check that. Read that text. So you got an understanding of what I'm gonna be, because I'm gonna need a referral. Just to give you a heads up, because that's what I'm gonna be kind of looking for. So, we'll talk. We'll talk. We ain't gonna do this shit on here. Santos Salinas, what it do, brother man? What's cracking? Alexander, if I got my certificate for drug class, so it's best to choose peace to ourselves. I'm trying to give myself the peace for myself. Amen. Shout out to Alexander. So if you don't know, I've had Alexander on my live one time, and he's been subscribed to the channel for a while, and he tapped in some time ago. And at the time, he was down bad. He was in a struggle in life, and he was inspired by the channel, and I thank God for the blessing that this brother is right here. You know what I mean? We had exchanged numbers and shit, but we lost contact. But we just got contact again. So I'm kind of hoping, man, like in the near future, I wanna take some out of town trips and I'll probably try to get over there and see him. You know what I mean? Maybe even get some content with them. But yeah, you know, man, you know, another one right there that, you know, like I said, down bad, and, you know, picked himself up by his bootstraps and started going to school, started going to classes, started, you know what I mean, doing what's best for himself and his kids, and, you know what I mean. So shout out to him. I mean, that's you know, that's what we should be doing here, man. You know, instead of all of these controversies and looking for that next video to, you know, that, because that's what we're in search of. I'm not going to lie. I did it myself, bro. I sat here and I searched for controversial shit to like react to. And it's like, you know, I thought about a video I was watching of a boxer the other day. And he did on the dude from P&I. And he had said how he doesn't do reactions or whatever. And I thought about that, and it's like, you know, that's the best route to take. And I thought about that myself. Cause like, you see the short that I uploaded today, I've been trying to learn to do content. So, you know, I thought of that one right there. So, you know, just giving myself ideas and trying to learn to edit so I can put stuff together, you know, better content that I want to do to educate people. You know what I mean? Like, even when it comes to those issues, every issue that's substantive to anyone in the in society. You know what I mean? Like, I've been there. I've been down bad. I've experienced those things, so I understand that. You know what I mean? But Rudy P in the place to be was cracking, bro. Appreciate you tapping. I appreciate everybody tapping in today. Yeah, I wanted to come live, like I said, and speak on the passing of Josh in loving memory of, and you know, and then speak to other content creators and all this stuff, because, like, you know, in all honesty, I think back to that moment in time, you know, and I have to, you know, and I have to admit my own mistake, because, you know, I could have just went on, right? I could have just went on there live, but I mean, you know, it would have been a train wreck, considering, you know what I mean? And knowing myself, you know, he could have easily turned the tables, but I didn't want to play that game. That's what I'm not trying to do here, and that's what people are doing. You know what I mean? So that was why I came on. You know what I mean? Because at first I was thinking that, you know, whatever the bullshit Dubs had said was true about, you know, how he passed away, you know, but, you know, his mother's since spoken and they've deleted all that stuff, and it's telling to the facts. You know what I mean? It's like I said, that's not something. I learned a valuable lesson, but that one, man, you don't go out there. And if you couldn't, that's the thing, like, you couldn't get in touch with his people, I don't know why you were going out there doing all that. You know what I mean? Like, that's just, that's why, I mean, you know, I wasn't going to make a video, you know what I mean? Like, if I'm going to speak, I'm going to speak on it live so that people have an opportunity in real time to react. Because, like, it ain't like, I'm almost certain they, you know, a whole lot of them already tapped in, so. What up, Money Tip JD? You on that money tip, bro? What's cracking? Yeah, R.I.P. to him, man. Monique Robinson, Berry. Monique, I've been here. I've been hurt. I've been, have you though? I appreciate you, Monique Robinson. I'm trying to figure it out, but Marcus, what's cracking? I appreciate everybody tapping in. Doing this one, and I didn't title this one. I just went live. I didn't want to, you know, after the fact, I may title it, but, you know, just to speak on the homie hangout and, you know, a memorial, because, you know, I know that his health was failing him. I do recall him saying things about that. I remember something being brought up, and you know, that's the thing. That's something that I harp on my channel, because, we're at that. Listen, bro, think about all of us content creators, dog. I'm 50. Uh, I know Dubs is older than I am. Fucking, I believe American Cholo's in his 50s, right? Fucking, I think Gunners is in his 50s. Gotta be my age. Fucking, how many of us are 45 or older on here? You know what I mean? Like, how many of us are that? You know what I mean? Like, we're so, and this is for all of the content creators. I come with this is with all due respect to everyone, bro. Like, honestly, bro. Like, me myself. You're not gonna, like I said, I deleted all that shit off. I'm not gonna go that controversial route. You know what I mean? If I, because I know that those content creators deal too much in controversial content. I can't look to it. You know what I mean? Um, to gain anything from it. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like I like to watch something and then be able to say, yeah, I seen this video and I learned something from it. You know what I mean? As opposed to just, my reaction to it is adverse because I know that an adverse reaction to whatever it is gonna benefit me. Like, no, like I'm nobody's daddy on here, dude. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not. I'm just trying to live my life and give the best advice I can from myself. And, like I say, I exercise and I speak to these things, dieting, you know what I mean, taking care of oneself. Because what could be more valuable than that? Like, what more better advice can I give anybody? Can anybody give you than what your doctor is going to give you? Take care of your health, man. Like, take care of yourself, man. Diet, exercise, you know what I mean? Focus on your mental health, you know what I mean? Like, don't lie to yourself and kid yourself and tell yourself you're not depressed, bro. Understand what depression is. You know what I mean? Like, because that's the one thing about it is, like, controversial content is depressive. It's depressing. Is it not? You know what I mean? John Rodriguez, 53. It's on those older than 45. Hey, that's what I'm saying, though, man. R.I.P. Josh, man. Rest in peace to Josh. I mean, like, honestly, it's one of them things, like, right now, like, because, I feel at peace with myself and with a lot of things that, like, it's one of them things where for me it's a saddening because, I wish I had that opportunity, you know what I mean? And that's why I extend it now to everybody, because it's like I'm extending an olive branch to anyone. And it's like, if you want a reason, we can reason. If you want an apology, I'll give you that, bro. Like, I know I said some shit that, I'll tell you I regret because it's not a good look, dude. At 50 years old, I don't want to look back on my life and be like, damn, dude, that was some dumbass shit you did. And you know what? I wasn't a kid when I did it. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, I think about just like the whole thing about the gangs and like my whole attitude about it for so long. You know what I mean? I was so prideful and arrogant in my whole representation of it. I gave these same impressions myself when, the same hypocrite. You know what I mean? The same blind hypocrite, not seeing for myself the error of my own way, judging others for my own projections. I'm honest enough about it to be able to admit that I did it. You know what I mean? And I say that so that people can reflect on it themselves and think about it. Are you doing it yourself? You know what I mean? What is the point of the content that you're putting out? Because if you're gonna put out a content speaking about somebody, you know what I mean? Like, I'll turn to Dubs and Gunners on this one and say, like, because they, like, if you ever watch Chill, because I watched Chill for a minute before he get drug into the bullshit with them, dog. And, like, I reacted to that when I reacted before Chill did. And um and it was like, Chill of all people, dog. Chill has his own lane. Like, there is no way in the world you just went that far out of your way to crash into Chill's car, dog. Like, you went like you didn't go, dog. You didn't go 5 lanes over, dog. You like jumped highways. You went from the 101 to the 202, dog. You know what I mean? You went. That's what you did, bro. Like, that shit is crazy. You know what I mean? But it's depressive to think about it, right? Because like, you're gonna tell me something bad about somebody. Well, don't you have something good to say? Is there nothing, any good that you see in this world that you can reflect on? Is it not everything that's all fucked up that all you see? That's all you're looking to, is the most controversial, fucked up shit to react to. That's the most depressing shit. What does it say about you yourself when this is what you seek? Bro, listen. I just recently subscribed to Mandy. I forget the whole name. Mandy. She pans gold on the property. She pans gold. Like, like, I just like, I tap in. I'm watching the shorts and just, you know what I mean. And I liking this guy. You know what I mean? Because for me, I like that. I like to turn away from this world. Just, you know what I mean. And and I seen the family in the water, and they're panning. And it's like, that's what I'm talking about right there. The family, the kids, and everybody in the water, and they're panning for gold, and they're finding gold. They're really finding gold, little nuggets of gold, and it's just like, man, like, simple pleasures in life with such meaning. Of course, it's not for everybody. Farming, ranching, you know what I'm saying? No, that's not for everybody. Construction, electrical, HVAC's not for everybody. YouTube, not for everybody. Not everybody is built for what everybody else is built for. But as the apostle explains, the body of Christ, the church, that each member is a member in particular that has needs of every other member in particular. Because the hand can't tell the hand can't tell the mouth, I have no need of you. Okay. And this is the thing. So like, when you're looking out into the world, and you're looking at the world around you, what do you see? Are you like those people who perpetuate fear and loathing by saying, looking around them, and all they see is sewage? That all Americans, that we're all fucked up people, like that a whole group of people, that no matter what your demographic is in this country, that, you know what I mean, like, we're vile, like, that we're under such a microscope that if you find anything in between our toes, then that's what then we need to have our heads cut off. Instead of having our feet washed, we should have our heads cut off. And this is the state of the world we're in. Because you look and you see, okay, one person's doing something fucked up, and you say that everyone that looks like him is fucked up. So everyone that looks like him, they got gold, and they're all fucked up. And this is what you're looking to in this world. You don't see no good in the sea of humanity around you. Do you stop to talk to the people and get to know them around you, to know anything about them? You know what I mean? To know their personal life and their stories, to know that they're a human being. Do you know what makes them laugh? What makes them cry? See? Alexander, hearing ages is like hearing how much time you got when I tell you, man, I see more maturity in these youth these days than I see in these adults. Dead ass. I see more level of maturity in youth, man, than I do in grown ass men on YouTube, because they want to hold on to the past. You know what I mean? Like their reputation on YouTube is who they were in a gang. It's not for anything here and now. It's because they were somebody then. They stand on that reputation and that credibility of having either did or not did some shit that stands as it does in a hood, and that's what it's all good about. It's not nothing to do with them having anything knowledgeable or sensible or intellectual or valuable or substantive to add to the community. No, it's simply a projection and a reflection of one's own self. It always is, especially when you're dealing with reactions. John Rodriguez, that's why I don't watch the news. It's nothing but depressing information. You're right, bro. Like, I remember that like in the 1980s, right? I remember because it was so crazy out here, man. Like, so much death and destruction during between 84, I say between 84 and 86, 87, 80, between 84 and 88. And just how depressing it was. Every news cycle, somebody dead, they found another body, and it's just depressing. Day after day after day, another body in a canal, in a dumpster, in a field, you know what I mean? Head cut off, decapitated, mutilated, raped, strangled, you know what I mean? Like, it's just crazy shit, and it's just depressing, you know what I mean? And I remember that going to the 90s thinking that shit, like, that's all this shit is just depressing. And then you start seeing legacy media take a turn, and you start seeing them adding to their programming where they would go into the community and celebrate little things and little, tribute to people, and they started doing good in the community, and it grew from there, you know what I mean? But we're all overwhelmed by what is happening in our society and the crumbling of our democracy and how fast it's being taken from us. Like, we are truly, truly, truly losing our democracy right before our eyes, day after day. There will be no midterms, dude. Like, if listen, if this recent Ninth Circuit appeals court ruling stands, then we're done. We're completely done. There's no returning back from that. But the dissenting judge asked for en banc, which is to have the entire panel of the Ninth Circuit, which I can't remember how many justices, 20-something justices, sit on the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals, so that they all have to hear that and make a ruling. Because there's also a case, I believe, out of Louisiana that's before the Supreme Court, dealing with the same. I'm not sure if it's Louisiana, but there's another case pending in front of the Supreme Court. So if Donald Trump is given the right to send in those troops like he's trying to do, we're done. There's no stopping him. We're gonna have to resist. They're gonna go knocking on doors. They're gonna take your guns, dude. We're fucking done. Listen, dude, they're coming for your fucking guns. That party of protecting your right to bear arms, Donald Trump is sending in the military to get your fucking arms, because the only way they can become what they're trying to become is to take our arms from us. There's no more time left. You have to understand something that, okay, like I said, the falling away is going to continue to happen. Trump, the most diehard Trump supporters are going to become that much more solidified in their faith in him. Those who voted politics and they're going to fall away. He's going to continue and do things that's going to make people turn away from him. So the falling away is happening. It's prophesied. Go read 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, and that's exactly what's happening. So the falling away is occurring. That's going to continue. And so those people, everybody in Congress, everybody in the courts, everybody on the ground, those people, Mike Johnson, all of them, they want Donald Trump to be king. No matter what they say, no matter what they do, They are going to continue to lie and their way through. We don't have Congress no more. So long as Mike Johnson will not swear in Grijalva, we don't have Congress. Donald Trump he's already taken out Congress. We don't listen. There is no balance of power no more. There is no three branches of government. It does not exist. We only have two at present. He has already taken out the legislative branch. It's dismantled. We don't know when when they're going to be back, so we don't have a government anymore. Do you not understand that we do not have a government? There is no United States federal government. What are you people thinking right now? You think because the mailman's still coming and all this shit? No. The more days that go by, bro. We don't have time for that shit. Listen, only death is going to stop Donald Trump. If you really think that, bro, it doesn't matter if you put out a fucking tape of him having sex with the kids. It doesn't change nothing. The Epstein shit, listen, everybody knows. It does not matter. Do you not understand who is inside of that man there? Do you not understand the epitome of evil that exists at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue? Do you not understand the battle of good and evil that we are engulfed in this world? The forces of good and evil are at play. And it is clear as fucking day who is right and who is wrong. There is not one motherfucking, there is no motherfucking Christian nationalist that is getting into heaven. Not one. There is not one motherfucking Christian in support of Donald Trump that's in support of MAGA that believes what they do that is going to make it at all. Everything they believe is antithetical to the teachings of Jesus Christ. So there's no way in the world you can lead me to believe that you serve a man that you're speaking against. When that man says to do this, but you're doing that. And that man was a motherfucking immigrant his goddamn self. So the way you're treating these strangers, because there's actually laws in the law of Moses that you motherfuckers are transgressing without the blood of Christ. Keep that in mind. Because we don't have time no more for this shit. Listen, don't you understand once the troops come in, that's military grade force on the ground. Fuck your gangs. What your gang gonna do? What's your big homies? Who? What's your hood gonna fucking do? So long as we still are divided in the fashion that we are and we don't see the dire need to come together and stand up and fight against this shit, bro, you motherfuckers done. Because I already said where I'm headed, dog. I'm headed up the fucking river. I ain't gonna be in no goddamn city. Yup, let me explain something to you. If I asked a simple question, what would you do if the power went out? Right? Blackout, no more power. So, listen, no more power, your phone's gonna die. All this gonna die. Gas pumps, all this gonna die. What are you gonna do? You see, because what you're thinking is what the masses are thinking of doing. Do you understand that? Everyone is thinking to do exactly what you're thinking to do, so everybody's just gonna shoot and kill each other. I'm out. I know where the Salt River runs. All I gotta do is continue to follow the Salt River. All I need is a backpack, dude. All I need is a horse. Don't you guys understand that the power is going out soon? I don't know how much of what I say, you know what I mean, it just comes to pass, and it's constantly, and people see this, but they still don't believe. Fun dad, stay close to fresh water. There you go. Appreciate that advice. I appreciate that. Vic Chavez, what up, Vic? What it do on Peru? We gonna eat. We gonna eat chitlins. Raw Walmart. That's what I'm saying. Hey, that's why I said. That's what people are gonna be thinking, bro. Latin Zane having lunch, chilling. Had to run some errands, so I just stopped real quick, and I wanted to go live. I was waiting to see if I was gonna have to work, but I wanted to go live to speak on the thing with Josh, which I did. So rest in peace to Josh, man. Loving memory of homie Hangout. You know, once again, I would say this again. You know, my condolences to the family and my apologies to the family for the conflict that him and I had on here. You know, I apologize on my end. You know what I mean, for my offenses, and you know, and I accept an apology from him. You know what I mean. I believe he has it in his heart. You know what I mean. So I give him that. In Santos, I'm eating pigeon, baby. Boy, you raising pigeons on me? Hey, you raising pigeons? I eat some pigeons. I never did, though. I used to hunt them. Bro, I used to, man, motherfuckers hated me in the projects. People probably forget this shit, but there would be dead pigeons all over, bro. I'd be plucked, because I always had a slingshot. I love hunting with a slingshot, bro. That was my favorite of all things, was hunting with a slingshot. I was like, I don't know. I think I was more accurate with a slingshot than a gun with a firearm. Actually, I am more accurate because the recoil on a firearm, it's always gonna get you. Always, even if it's just the minutest of movement, it's gonna get you. But yeah, fun dad. You got to be ready, man. That's why I say, you know, fresh water, running stream. That's why I say I'm headed upstream. I'm headed up to Colorado into the Rockies, baby. You know what I mean? And I know that along the way, you know, I can hunt, I can gather, I can grow. So one thing I'm going to do is, if I'm going to break into anything, I'm going to break into a seed store. A herb store, something like that, where they got seeds to grow vegetables, and that's what I'm gonna take. I'm gonna take seed with me. I'm gonna take plenty of seed. The rest of that shit ain't gonna matter on me. The rest of it's not gonna matter, bro. It's not. You know what I mean? You take a firearm, like I'll take a rifle, I'll take something to hunt with, but you know what I mean? Of course, but won't be necessary. I rather not. I'd rather just say that just in case I cross some unfriendlies. You know what I mean? I'd rather use the bow and for the hunting and shit. Love you too, bro. For reals. I'm knowing, homie. Hey, That's the thing about me, bro. I know when shit's real. There's those that like I know we're busy, homie, and I know the reason is legit when people we ain't got the time. You know what I mean? Like it just we ain't had the opportunity. But I know if if there was but see there's those that always act like, but it ain't what it is. Tribalism will be the day, exactly. But that's why, speaking of tribalism, like, in my community, I've given the best advice that I could to everyone here. You know what I mean? Especially like from my neighborhood, is like arm yourselves. You know what I mean? Hold that shit together, man. You know what I mean? Know that we're gonna need each other. You know what I mean? If you guys are gonna stick around, you guys are gonna fucking you hold it down, man. You know what I mean? And don't be fucking, you know what I mean? Be defenders, be protectors, man. You know what I'm saying? Don't be like them motherfuckers that are trying to conquer this shit. You know what I mean? You grow in forces. You get more people to join in together in the fight when you come in peace, and there's a common cause. You know what I mean? But yeah, because it ain't gonna be safe, dog. Like I know, like the people that where I come from. You know, the east side in particular. And I know the homies, like, I'm just speaking in general, like, homies are intelligent motherfuckers, dog. Like, you know what I mean? They're very, very, very intelligent. Geniuses, bro. And I'm going to tell you something about them is like, what makes them that is that they can take what they get from me and they grow from that. You know what I'm saying? Like, they learn so much. They're able to just, you know what I mean? Like transcend what I learn and know and shit just by picking up stuff from me and going and knowing that, you know what I mean? Cause we're gonna need each other, dog. We're gonna need each other to force out our own government. Our federal government, the deep state is coming, dog. The deep state is here. They ain't deep no more. That motherfuckers is at the surface. The deep state is coming for your shit. That is the deep state. It does not get no deeper than a U.S. president ordering military into the cities to combat crime. No, bro. You don't send in the military to combat crime. There has never in this nation's history ever been a need for that unless there was riots. No, we don't send in a National Guard to protect the city streets. National Guard. National Guard. What part of national don't you understand? There's no threats in these cities. What threat? The only threat in the city is being posed by our own federal government. Our own federal government is a threat to us, all of us. But they don't see it that way. Let's see, we at. Doe Harding, I live on the Columbia River. I own silver and gold and lead. Also, a year's worth of beans and rice. Hey, man, salute. I'm going to go check you out. You got some content up? I was just talking about, I think her name is Mandy. I'd have to, I had to check. But, yeah, she's panning with gold. I like that, man. I would love to do that. I ain't even gonna lie. I seen that. I was watching her and her family. They were saying, I was like, man, I would love to be in there. Like, man, they just seem so much fun. Cause that's like me myself as a kid. I was a tree climbing kid. You know what I mean? Like I'd try and climb the trees and I climbed the roofs and you know what I mean? Like I was a little dirty kid. I was a little crusty kid. I love to adventure and play, and you know what I mean. I love nature. You know what I mean. So that's suitable for me. This shitty shit, man. Fuck this place. You know what I mean. Alexander, what the fuck kind of question is it? Oh, yeah, I'm seeing all these trolls, bro. I'm not reading. I'm not catching any of their what you call, but well, go down to the. See, that's what, man. I remember, bro. Like when the Salt River, when we still had the Salt River, we don't even have the Salt River no more. When we had the Salt River, you know what I mean. Back then, you could go down there with your shotgun and hunt dove and quail and fucking motherfuckers be down there getting duck and fish. You know, all the fish that's in those streams. You know what I mean? What do we got? Like rainbow trout, and we got all kind of fish in them streams. And then, yeah, bro, everything right there. Turtles. Man, you could live off the river. Well, how do you think we got this place? There's no people with, you can't grow. People can't survive here without the water. It's a fucking desert. This is some harsh ass terrain right here, man. I tell you, you know, it's an interesting thing about this place, right? So those of us who are born here are outnumbered by the number of people who migrate here from other cities or other states. But like when people have lived here for 10, 15, 20, 30 years, they say they're from here. People, once they've spent enough summers here, they get tempered by that. You know what I mean? And to survive a summer in this desert, in this valley desert right here, when temperatures could hit 120, it's a city. That's why, you know, people, they take pride in that. They'll, you know what I mean? They'll turn and say, oh, I was born there, and, you know, I moved out here when I was, you know, 10, 15, 20 or whatever. I just moved out here 5 years ago or whatever. But people get tempered because it becomes home to them. You know what I mean? People make this place their home, and I tell people that all the time. It's a beautiful place. If you're a city kind of person, it's a beautiful place. You know what I mean? And plenty of opportunity. Plenty of opportunity. We got great universities. You know what I mean? A lot to see, a lot to do. If you can bear these fucking summers. Everybody's irritated, everybody's impatient. And you can lose your life, dog. You can lose your life in traffic over road rage. Move, bitch! Get out the way! Get out the way! And you get people like, there's a recent one where the dude gets out the car, like there's kids in the car, and the lady kills the dude. So, you know what I mean? Like, we have other problems here that we have to address. You know what I mean? Like, so like when Trump makes a statement about, you know, rapists and kidnappers and drug dealers and murderers and shit like that, it takes on a different meaning here. We have a problem with kidnapping. We have a really serious problem with kidnapping in this place. And nobody's safe, dude. Like, listen, bro, the most active people here are the ones that are the most clutchiest. They're the ones who's always got guns all around them and always finger fucking triggers and shit like that, because they're the ones who know. They're the ones who got to be on the lookout the most for that motherfucker trying to snatch them up. Because if you're in them lanes, you're going to get got. Ain't nobody safe, dog. Like, who you think you are and what you think you claim, motherfuckers are only going there for one thing and one thing only, to take what you got. And because of your name and your claim to fame, then you got what they're there for. And they don't got no problem laying everybody down. They don't give a fuck. Anybody can get it. Like, there's no, that's how I try to tell people, like, when it comes to this street shit, like, I don't know who you gonna turn to politic with. You know what I mean? That's the thing with, like, anyone I know, there's no doing that with. There's no, once people like that make a decision, that's done. You're talking about chiefs as opposed to Indians. Like, when you talk about gangs and all this shit, you're talking about a whole bunch of Indians. There's no chiefs in that equation. When you're talking about chiefs, there's no politicking. We don't give a fuck. We reason for ourselves. You can't come to me and say, hey, fucking, what's up with you and homie? Like, I hear something between you and homie. Like, what do you mean? Well, homie told me that there's something. Well, why didn't he come to me? So I don't like, and then to me, I'm at a point where I don't have nothing to address in my life. Like, I don't have no, other than like what I have on this live with other content creators. You know what I mean? I don't have no, I let bygones be bygones. I keep it moving. It's like I was saying a little while ago, like, I don't even, I want to starve this, everyone of any attention from me, being able to see or hear me at all. You know what I mean? They see me in passion in public. Cool. They're gonna continue to see me as they always do, always have. That's not gonna change. But otherwise, so long as I'm on here, it don't matter what I'm talking about, because they're gonna look to see if I'm saying something about them. So I think I missed a whole bunch. 5 kind of media time back in on my lunch break till 12:30. What's up? What's good? What's cracking? So hold on. We got a little homosexual guy, because I know my wrenches can see that one, but I'm glad no one took that one down. We got a little homosexual. The IE Empire takeover. So, IE, the Inland Empire. I do believe I got family city council out there. Where you at in the Inland Empire? You probably from Ontario, huh? You probably from Ontario, California, huh? You know that passway right there, like when you're going on the freeway in Ontario and you're headed to the airport, and that mountain range right there where it's like a boneyard of the big rigs, the diesels that go through there, because that wind be blowing them over and shit right there. You probably live right there in that area where that wind be blowing a whole bunch. Just blew your senses off. Ever seen a pride flag? And the first time I was ever explained what it was, 1999. Moreno Valley. In the Inland Empire of all places. I just so happened to be driving down the street with my primo to the rancho, you know what I mean? We was gonna go get something, and down the street, and there's a car in front of us with the rainbow flag sticker in the window. The pride. I don't pay attention unless it's something that's, funny. I don't pay attention to the bumper stickers and shit. And my primo's telling me, you know what that is? I'm like, no. He's like, that's gay pride. It's pride. It's gay. It's with the gays. They put the gay pride. So the IE Empire takeover. You asked a homosexual question. You asked me. Well, when was the last time? When the last time I was in prison was over 7 years ago. To answer your homosexual question, I've never done it. But it's interesting when people come on here and the thought in your mind is of me. You're interested in knowing whether or not, when was the last time I did a homosexual act. Now, why would you be interested in whether or not I was homosexual? Unless you were. You see the catch-22 that you get yourself into. You see the tangled web you weave for yourself when you conspire to deceive yourself in the fashion that you do, because you can't hide behind a screen. When you say something out of your mouth, the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. So you in your heart were thinking about me engaged in a homosexual activity. So why are you thinking about men in homosexual activity? That's just for every troll. When you go on there and you start playing your little gay games like that right there, when you want to do that, think about yourself. I'm a 50-year-old man. And you just wanted attention from a 50-year-old man by asking that question. Now you just shamed the entire Inland Empire by doing something that stupid. Think about it. Look at how I reduced the entire Inland Empire down to homosexuals. Because I seen them everywhere out there after that. Because you chime in with saying something like that. You not only exposed yourself for being in the closet, you exposed the Inland Empire for all of those pride flags that I'm certain are still going around all out there. While you're playing gay online. Let's keep it moving. Alexander, I would have went out with my pops AR and went ham through the door or go through. I always say they ain't gonna take me out alive. They can try, but it ain't gonna happen. CRCKI, say hi. Because he's projecting his own personal views. That's what it is. He's probably smuggling carrots in his room. No, bro. I'm going to tell you what it is. Listen, I can explain it to you. The little gay guy is there all giddy. He's watching me all giddy. Right? Wants attention. Knows how to do it. They know how to do it. Right? So chimes in with something like that. Gay. Like just... I don't understand why people don't see themselves for who and what they are when they say and do what they do. Now, this person sitting there watching me all giddy, wanted to interrupt, wanted to get seen, heard, wanted to, you know, get me to speak on them or whatever, you know what I mean? And so, this is what they get. Bro, has any troll ever, for everybody watching, anybody's watching me long, has any troll ever not gotten exposed trying to project on my channel? None. Listen, these fools literally sit there, play with them. So these fools got fingers in buttholes. These fools are sitting there pinching nipples and shit, watching me. Anybody that's gonna sit there and conceive of a thought of me engaged in a homosexual activity with someone else, bro, you're gay. These trolls expose themselves, right, Joe? All the time, bro. Every time. They just... Don't you understand what projecting is? Look up the word projecting. Look up projecting psychology. Teach you how to use Google. Just type in projecting psychology, and you'll get the psychological definition. Or you can even look up just meaning of, and I'm certain that within the meanings of projecting, that definition will pop up, what projecting is. You're projecting yourself onto someone else. It's like, I know what you are, but what am I type shit. What they say, the first one who smelt it, dealt it. That doo-doo's on you, doo-doo. It was nearest to you, doo-doo. Fuck no, they get put on blast, and then that's the thing, like, you know, that's the whole thing with YouTube, bro. Like, you know what? I'm gonna tell you something. All of these fools caught up in this prison genre, they're responsible for that. Like, they created an atmosphere of trolling that was unusual. Listen, bro, you don't start really hearing any other content creators talk about trolling like that in their content until later. Now, this shit was running. Think about it. In this genre, there is a super troll. There was a troll that had everybody on this motherfucker shook. Remember this guy? Like, trolls in the prison genre are they're llaveros. Ain't that what they are? They're llaveros. Right? Like, and then all these games being played, all these, you know, kids on here, you know, that are entertained by all these prison stories and all this shit, and they start playing all these games, and like, this shit just got crazy. Like, insane, bro. Like, it was mind-blowing the level of delusion at one point that motherfuckers were under on here. Like, let's think about the extremes that motherfuckers have gone through to try to destroy people on YouTube. Like, think about it. When you go to expose somebody, you're trying to destroy them. Am I correct or not? Like, if like, you're trying to shut down their channel, right? Like, what you trying to take food out of their mouth? Like, that's what you're trying to do, right? Or what? Like, what's the point otherwise of speaking down on somebody, exposing them, if you're not trying to get them shut down? So what ends up happening is karma. It catches up with all of us. And, you know, you go back on this live, you hear me confessing my own faults in all of this. Because it's all the same. But, you know, at some point, people started like fabricating shit. Like, that's the level that it got to, like, fabricating. Like, I see, me myself, I went through that since I was a kid. And that was the thing about me, and I said that from the very beginning. And I told all these fools, dog, you should not come on this motherfucker if you got skeletons in the closet. I said that shit. And for me personally, I already knew. I already know what anyone's gonna bring up on me. I've lived this shit my whole life. I've walked on those hot coals, dude. I was long past that shit. So I'm already knowing, and all they did was pick up the same stones and try to throw them at the same wall and got them motherfuckers ricocheted right back on their motherfucking foreheads. That's all that happened. Because I anticipated that shit. The rest of these dudes, not so much. Not so much. They thought that they can conceal certain things about themselves. Not so much, dog. And that's the thing about it. Like, I even went so far as explaining to people that you have to anticipate even haters within your own that are gonna come out and say some shit about you. And people don't wanna. Alexander, now my cousins and shit hate me because I expose people down here a lot. That's why they hate me too. Who smelled it, doubt it, baby. But coming here was like that time that troll came in with that black Indian. Oh yeah, epic. We knew. Hey, there's somebody that's been coming on saying that's his uncle. But I don't want to talk about that shit, bro. Like, at all. Listen, that just moving forward with the channel, because this is Daniel Saiz's Rose Grows in Stones. And you can see I'm trying to learn to edit, and I'm trying to get my content up, and I'll drop a video soon, and it'll be more so to the direction I intend to go with the channel and whatnot. You know what I mean? Because I want to, I'm gonna take my own course. You know what I mean? And any reactions that I do will be live. I'm only gonna do live reactions. I'm not gonna sit there and watch nobody's shit and take the time to fucking record no video. I'm not doing that. I'll do live reactions, but that's it. You know what I mean? Fuck Google. All these dumbasses need to read a book. No. Well, let me explain something about Google. It's interesting that you brought that up. Okay, so I know how to use a search engine. Now, I for one thing, I'm like, my shit's private. And my shit gets deleted behind me. I don't store save shit. Like I said, my digital footprint, I can trace it. I can give an account of every app I've ever had on the devices I've had them. I know the number of email accounts I've had. And for a reason. Now, okay, Google is reading the book. That's when I refer people to Google search something, I'm referring them to go read something. You see what I'm saying? That's a book. That's what I'm doing with that. But yeah, because that's just one way of provoking people to read. You know what I mean? Because I know myself, like when I go into a search and when I start searching, I start hitting other links, and my searches just get deeper, and I start finding more and more and more. So I just try to send people on these little viajes that they can learn something. You know what I mean? Just simple little things that I know people don't know. You know what I mean? But yeah, it's important. But another thing is that with this government takeover, as we're witnessing, like I would, if my advice to everyone, I wouldn't do TikTok at all. I would not do. Matter of fact, I would get off of all of those social media sites. especially with this what they're trying to do with TikTok, and now it's trying to take over TikTok. That consolidation of power right there, that's the forces of evil right there. It's working against us. So my advice to everybody, man, I would get off of all of the, because YouTube has, like, we can watch stuff on here. That's different. But I would not, that's why I'm going to go back on to, because I want to delete my Facebook. And I'm gonna go on there and I'm gonna post something and leave it up there for 24 hours so I know people have a chance to read it. In explaining that, because seriously, there's a lot of reasons. Let me give you the most important reason: our own mental health. We all need a break from this. So my advice is, download everything, because you can download everything you have on your what you call it, download it, PDF it, so you can actually keep what's stored in file. You can have it, but you don't, I mean, why? Like, why? Like, that's not, that's what I'm saying about this shit. If you can't delete your social media accounts, dude, if it means that much to you, I understand if you're making millions off of it, but I don't know anybody that's making millions off of this shit. So, like, yeah, I mean, because how do you bankrupt a company? Boycott. Boycott, quickest route to a bankruptcy. Quickest route to a bankruptcy. Because every hour that employee that business is not producing, after 24 hours of a shutdown, every hour is valuable to a company. So you shut them down. Boycott. For our own mental health's sake, we need to remove ourselves from that world. It's make-believe. We need to quit thinking those are our friends, that they're our family, that they're anything to us. They're not. If you're not seeing them in person, if you don't have direct contact with them, they ain't that. I hold what I hold in my heart for whom I hold it for. At any point in time, I can reach out to them. They can do the same with me. There's no need for the rest of the show. I'm most interested in knowing how you're doing